Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Happy tax day. Happy Bobby's still in Arizona. Happy, joy. What's going on? I hope you all had a great weekend. I talked with Bobby for those who watched Friday. We didn't know Bobby was jumping on or not, and he did not. He did text me afterwards about an hour later saying, I'm so sorry, dude. I slept through it. He had the 3 hour difference. I totally understand. Did not talk to him again this weekend. He had said Monday might be tough. So it'll probably just be me. I've thrown out a couple links to people in case they want to jump on, but if not, we'll just have a fun time going over a couple of things. I had a really good weekend. Who did not have a wondrous weekend? Charlotte, the Stingray, the update we've been doing since February. Charlotte has not yet had the baby. At this point, I don't know if there ever is going to be a baby. Who the fuck's going on with this? But the update on TikTok said that Charlotte, it kind of like, it was kind of bullshit with the update because it said, we have great Charlotte the Stingray update for you. Very encouraging. And they're like talking kind of slower on the TikTok. And then they go, Charlotte the Stingray lost one of its barbs. I guess that's the name of the stinger thing on the back. And they drop their stingers all the time. Yeah, Terry, I'm feeling like it's a false pregnancy. Instead, they start leading into the barb falling off. And like that happens like every couple of months. I guess it happened in February when we started talking about it. And now they're like, it lost its barb again, and now another barb is gonna be coming in soon, and coming in hot, I guess. I don't know. And we should realize that that means it's healthy. So the pregnancy's got to be great, because health and everything like that. But I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? I want them babies. It's what we all want. We all have baby fever. We all want stingray baby fever, and we're not catching it. It's bullshit. Putting out the fucking whole thing with that is why didn't put up. I get it. Now you're doing a couple updates, but to do the update and go, I don't want an update on Charlotte the fucking Stingray unless that thing's having babies. I don't. It's kind of like a man who got a woman pregnant and right away they know they're not gonna be together in any way, and he knows he has to now take care of and visit these babies, even though he impregnated some jackal. And he just is waiting to hear that news. And then that woman messages and goes, well, you want an update? And he's like, yeah, I need an update, I guess, if I have to deal with you for 18 years of my fucking life, lady. And she's like, well, I'm going to go to beauty school. He's like, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Well, you're going to have to give me money. Like, I don't have to give you money for beauty school. I came with you once. I give you money for the child. That's the deal. Please stop giving me updates on things that aren't about the fucking babies. Fucking Echo Lab in goddamn North Carolina. I don't I don't understand why they keep doing that. Please stop telling us about the stupid anything, the barbs, the barbras, whatever you're calling the thing on the back. I don't care. I don't care. I don't need. I'm 49 years old. I'll be 50 in October, and the only couple months I've been 49, I have learned way too much in my life about stingrays. I've never given a fuck about aquatic creatures, and now I have to give a fuck because I stupidly got on board with the story, and now I see why everyone else stopped covering it, even NPR. It's just us. Women on TikTok are outraged that the babies aren't here yet. Not outraged like we are, like fuck you. Outraged like I can't believe that the more people aren't behind. This is how terrible it is to be a woman in labor. It's like it's not a woman. It's a fucking stingray. That's not a woman. It's an animal. It's a female. Stingrays have two genders. That's what I've also learned, that animals have two genders. People have 415. We have male gender, female gender, Caitlyn gender. Heyo. So yeah, no Charlotte the Stingray news. The piece of shit will continue to be Charlotte the Stingray for not having its babies. And now, I mean, no offense, fuck these babies. I don't even care anymore. Because once they come out, who cares? Unless they're gonna do cool shit. Unless those babies come out with superpowers or at least like guns or something, or like hand. Like Stingray comes out and has feet, then I'll be like, you know what? Fuck cool. That was worth the wait. It has feet. And those stingrays have feet. I don't care. I don't care that the barb is gone. I don't. I know I say I don't care, but yes, am I the one check? I guess I'm that person that says I don't care, but then I do it. Like the person who says I don't fucking watch The Bachelor anymore, and then when you're like, well, in the last season, then if you don't know, and they're like, well, I know. Well, then how do you know? I mean, I don't care anymore, but I still watch it. That's me. I'm supposedly don't care anymore. Like the people that are still watching Grey's Anatomy or whatever, like I don't care anymore. It was way better when we had that little tiny guy, a little handsome Dr. Handsome, whatever the fuck they called him. I don't know. I actually never watched the show. But I'm just saying, people say they don't care when they do care. Kind of like your parents. You know what I mean? They say, like, I don't care what you do with your life. Just fucking leave me alone. Or it's Billy Joel. Or so, I forget who said that. But either way, fuck stingrays. Fuck Charlotte. Fuck babies. Don't fuck babies. But good morning, everybody. I hope you all had a wonderful, wonderful weekend. I did not a ton of stuff, but just a lot of running around. I had a show last night at the casino. It's a scam. Stingrays have. Yeah. We know that. That's the whole thing. Yeah. Oh, that's been the whole talk, Terry, is that they have. That's we know it's parthenogenic, and so do the sharks that are there. That's been the talk. No one thinks it's a miracle baby. Nobody thinks that it's Jesus stingrays anymore or shark impregnated. Parthenogenesis is definitely what they said is the reasoning why they do that. Not as often as other animals do when I looked that up, but yes, they do that as well. But the pregnancy can last forever. But we also don't know when the pregnancy really started since there was no insemination. So like the fact that they were like pushing this whole time it's coming was kind of dumb. It was their hype doing that whole shit. But yeah, it's not. We're not having immaculate conception of the stingray kind. It's just fucking stupid babies not showing up. They don't have stingray abortion clinics, so they couldn't take care of the problem. And I guess it's gonna be several. I guess they have pups, like several pups. I don't know, but I hope everyone had a fun weekend. I didn't do like I said show last night. Not a lot of crazy stuff, just running around stuff this weekend. But I did over the weekend watch the Jennifer Lopez movie and then the Jennifer Lopez documentary that everyone on social media has been shitting on. If you haven't seen any of the TikToks or the memes or anything like that, Jennifer Lopez with her own money created a movie that she said was like her vision she needed to do. And it is the worst movie. Seriously, I could say this movie to me is an expensive version of The Room. That that fucking the movie that's known to be awful. That guy Mark, who's a bad actor, and it just made awfully. And it's like you like it because it's so bad. It's like ironic that you're like kind of root for it. This is the opposite. This is a fucking woman who, when she came up with the concept of this movie and then tried to pitch it and sell it because she said, well, everyone else that does music has movies. Everyone was like, no. Every studio was like, no. I guess one studio kind of was on board because she said, what probably happened was they said Jennifer Lopez probably said, I'm gonna make a movie. They're like, oh, Jennifer Lopez is popular. If it's like a giant music video or something like that, maybe we'll do it. And then when they saw what it was, they're like, oh, we gotta back out of fucking this. This is a nightmare. It's what she believes it is a movie about her life of love, not her life, not like the story of J Lo coming from the block and then being on Living Color and then becoming this mega star singer, actress, booty lady, whatever she is. It's not about any of that. It's just about how she's been married a couple times and how all the marriage, I mean, literally, if you watch this, all the marriages failures are all everyone else's fault because all she's tried to do, I guess, is live her life according to the Puerto Rican fairy tale about a guy and a woman who couldn't be together. And so then the guy became a hummingbird and the lady became rose petals. And she doesn't have any more rose petals to give. So in her fever dreams, she dreams she's like in a weird steampunk factory with all these women and they do dance moves and they have dirt on them. And then the flowers don't burn and they dance around and then like Fat Joe is in it if you remember Fat Joe from the Lean Back stuff and Ja Rule. He's her psychiatrist in the movie, but she calls him Joe the whole time, so he's not like a doctor, he's just Fat Joe, but he's her psychiatrist. And then there's a lot of famous cameos and it's insane. This movie, the dance moves are like a zombie having a seizure. It's awful. And it's not me just shitting on go watch it. It hurts your soul. But then we decided to watch the documentary on the making of it. And my God, is that so much more worse. Like that documentary is brutal. Like it is very tough to watch. It really is a narcissist in full form being very upset at the world not understanding her vision. Like and they show people. The weird part is this documentary is almost like it's an intervention for her because like documentary shows people saying, "Hey, this isn't gonna work out the way you think it's gonna." I'm pretty sure people are gonna pick on you. Even Ben Affleck or loving husband, whatever, who says over and over in the thing, "I really don't want to be in this." You know, like, and she's like, she's talking about it's the right away. It's called the greatest love story never told. That's what she called the documentary. And Ben Affleck right away says, "Well, it's kind of weird because you're telling it, so literally you're already going against it." And they leave that in. Like that's a husband kind of taking a jab and going like, "Lady, you even titled you're being dopey." And then he's like, maybe you should do this or that. And she's like, "Well, I don't need to listen to you, my vision." He's like, "Well, I've just made a bunch of Oscar-winning films, kind of a good director and stuff." Other people are like, "Hey, don't do that." All she did is keep yes people around her. Like they would show her be upset. She would go to the shoots of these super expensive. She put $20 million of her own money into this, and she would show up, yell at everyone for doing everything wrong, and then say, "I'm exhausted. Don't ask me questions." She has a yes person that actually stands there and says, "Hey, don't talk about that stuff in front of J-Lo right now. She's, too busy focusing on whatever." And they're like, "We need to know if she really wants us to pay an extra $100,000 for this guru to show up one day to walk around." And they're like, don't talk about it right now. Don't say it now. We don't talk budget now. It's like I said, well, how the fuck do we do this project? Like, they wouldn't even allow anyone to have opinions or do whatever. There was people that would walk up to her. Like, there was this boy holding the bowl of dirt, and they had another dirt because I guess they were going to make her dirty in a thing, and then she needed to know what kind of fake dirt they were going to use. And they're like, you can tell they're just exhausted from this fucking woman's presence. And the kid is like, "Hey, do you want this dirt like this, or do you want this other clumpier dirt?" And she just goes, "I'm leaving." And she's in her car, and she rolls up the window and turns to the driver to drive. And they're like, "No, we need it. We need his answer for the fucking dirt when you come back tomorrow, because we don't have time to fucking just do new dirt. Like, we got so much shit we gotta do. With your stupid schedule you built, the deadline you put on us. No one else put this on there." She's acting like she has to get these things in a certain time, but she put it on herself. No one wants this fucking movie. And she puts it out, and then she kind of stops and goes, the dirt with the little more crumbles on it. I guess I have to go. I'm exhausted." For your own fucking music video. And then constantly she's saying, every husband she used to have, she doesn't understand why they just couldn't be happy. And they're like, "We feel ignored, and we feel like pieces of shit." And she's like, "Whatever, just be happy." Like, could not care about anyone's feelings anyway. It was laughing. It was a good time. I did edibles, so at least do that when you're gonna watch it. Good morning, Dominic. How are you? It was a nightmare. It was a nightmare to watch. And all the time you watched it, you're kind of like, my girlfriend had said to me, like, "I don't understand why watching this." You can see Ben Affleck's not happy being involved in this in any way, but still kind of tolerating it. Why Ben Affleck would go back to this woman? They were together in the early 2000s and now back together. But I think at that point in your life, it becomes like, you're that big of a star. When you're Jennifer Lopez, when you're an entity, you're a business, you're an LLC. I mean, you employ that, like, not thousands, but you probably at times employ thousands, hundreds of people. You're a business. And Ben Affleck's a business. He's a movie director, producer, actor, writer, all these things. Their solo project businesses are businesses. So to me, he probably was like, "Yeah, Jennifer Garner's nice and all. We have the kids and everyone likes her and roots for her and stuff. But if I'm not really built for the marriage life and don't want to do that, what if I just get together with someone else and like have a merger?" That's basically what it probably is. I tolerate it, but like, think about what it does for him when he puts out movies and stuff. People are like sympathetic now. They're like, "Oh, that poor guy, he gets yelled at." We all saw the Oscar video like a year ago where she's lipping, like, act like you're having fun, and like yelling at him as he's just sitting there like, "What the fuck is my life? What is going on here?" Yeah. So who's a piece of shit in that story is Jennifer Lopez for thinking the world needed a Jennifer Lopez movie. I get it. Taylor Swift made a movie. By the way, in the documentary, when she's trying to get all these cameos, she gets tons of cameos. She's like Post Malone. She has Jennifer Lewis. She has Trevor Noah, who's the black nerd science guy, Neil deGrasse Tyson. There's like all these people that are in this movie. The Fat Joe, of course. We have the Fat Joe. Got to have a Fat Joe in your movie. He's not really a Fat Joe anymore. He's kind of like, I wouldn't say Slender Joe, but he's a run of the mill. He's your average Joe. He's actually really become your average Joe. This movie is brutal. Jennifer Lopez for putting this thing out, thinking that people like Taylor Swift said no to being in the movie. Ariana Grande said no to being in the movie. So many. The Kardashians all said no, and they're not even actors, but like they said it. So many people said no to being in this movie. Thought it was going to be awful, even when they want attention to whatever. This is Jennifer Lopez for thinking the world wanted a fucking weird steampunk fever dream. Oh, a lot of accusing men without using their names. Mark Anthony, if he watches this, can't be pleased. I'm sure he's like, this says that he beat her or something in glass houses. And I know it's supposed to be metaphor, but no, you could see it's a lot of it is just accusing people of a lot of abuse and all that crazy shit. And even if they did do it, that's awful and terrible. But if they did not, and she just feels that's a good way to project a movie, it really blurs dumb lines with this stupid thing. But thinking that the world needed this movie when it's an awful movie and it's not well, it's you watch this and you go, this was someone who has never been told no, or at least listens to no, or allows no to be a thing around her. Is it her for making that? Is it Ben Affleck for encouraging it? He does basically the narration of the documentary afterwards. And you can tell he keeps saying, I don't want to be in this. I like my life to be private. She wants it public, but how dare I tell her how to live? So I'm in this, I guess. But throughout it, she even makes little jabs going, oh, what do you think you know more because you made a couple movies? Yeah, he does know more because he made a couple movies. But I think when you want Ben Affleck accomplished, he's won a lot of awards and way better making movies than J-Lo. Like if he was like shaking his cheeks and saying, I'm from the block and I suck the cock, whatever that song is, then I could see her saying, hey, what do you know about this? And if he was like, I'm a booty shaker. No, you're not a booty shaker, Ben Affleck. You're just a Boston white guy. So is it Ben Affleck, Rena? Is it the yes people in her life that fucking said, yeah, you should make this? Is it fucking Amazon Prime for being the one streaming service that bought it? Now, listen. If you want to watch, I watched it, and if you want to watch it and laugh at it, whatever, you can't. But it's not like I'm telling you, you get more frustrated than you do get laughs out of it. You just get if you like feeling anxiety, like, oh, I can't believe that's your life, you did that, then yeah, watch this movie. But it's fucking brutal. Is it the people that did say yeah? Jane Fonda's in it. Jane Fonda. Oh, by the way, and they're not playing themselves. It's not like she's pretending in the movie she's got all these famous friends. All those people, Post Malone, Trevor Noah, everyone I named, plays signs of the, what's the fucking astrology, the fucking horoscope shit. Because she believes in her mind, all like the Cancer and Gemini and all that, sit up top in the world like gods do, I guess. And they watch Jennifer Lopez's life and love happen, and they're worried about that. They're constantly talking about not everyone else in the world. They're talking just about Jennifer Lopez and her love, and that lack thereof, and how she just can't seem to get it right, and all. It's fucking horseshit to the 80th degree. To me, it's Jennifer Lopez. You're hurting whatever legacy you had. I mean, people had thought he was a big pop star. This is some crazy people shit. Like this, and I don't even know if this is one that you can now make another because people now are shitting on in the whole documentary. The whole talk about is, and even in the movie she made, her character, which is fucking her. The big pain is I'm tired of people criticizing me, saying I can't do things. I have to do this. Jane Fonda says to her on the phone, "I love you. We did that Monster-in-Law movie together. Whatever. You're great. I don't know if people are going to look at this movie the way you're looking at it." She goes, I don't care if they don't get it. Well, that's the whole purpose of making a movie, is making sure they get it. Like, I know young comics like that. They'll tell a joke, and I'm like, I don't think the audience can get that yet. You haven't really written it in a way where it can resonate or connect with the audience. They're like, I don't give a fuck if they don't get it. It's fucking a comedian. They don't like it. Fuck them. It's like, well, I mean, good for you with your little angsty attitude, but the whole purpose of being a comedian is to have your joke be gotten. That's kind of it. Same thing with a movie. If you're making a movie saying, I don't think anyone's going to get what you're talking about, you say, I don't give a fuck. Well, then why are you making the movie and putting it out and spending all this money? We are fortunate because we can learn from this. They said she said, Terry, that we can all learn from. She feels a lot of people out there have gone through this, but then like quickly turns it into and everyone needs to know about me like thing. Like the funny part of it, she is a piece of shit because the big part of this movie at the end. So she's searching around for her hummingbird. She's a flower petal, I fucking guess, and she's searching for her hummingbird. It feels like she'll never find love. And supposedly this is supposed to be like an ode to, well, Ben Affleck was always my love, and I love Ben Affleck. They don't really say that in this at all, but I guess supposedly she tried to say that's what it was. But at the end of the movie, spoiler alert, an actress who's playing young Jennifer Lopez. By the way, in the movie, the young Jennifer Lopez, like a 10-year-old, 12-year-old girl, has like scratches and like bruise marks and all this shit on her. So when she sees her younger self, and she's you're supposed to believe, I think, when you watch it. What's up, V? You're supposed to when you watch it, it makes me think, oh, she was beaten as a child. But then the documentary, they're like, oh, they showed the girl come out, and they're like, oh, she looks too perfect. I know I'm perfect looking, but like we got to make her like dirty to make people feel like on the inside she was not misunderstood. So the bruises represent. I'm like, okay, you're putting bruises on a kid. You're making me think that you were beaten as a kid. You're not beaten as a kid. And yes, V, and I thought about that throughout the entire thing. J-Lo is hot, and for her age now, she's still very attractive. But gets mad when people say that she's so much more than that. And then she even says to Ben Affleck, you have to see me when I'm ugly and disgusting. He's like, you're not ugly and disgusting. Even without makeup, you're a very pretty woman. Like, shut up. You know what I mean? Like, well, boo, you don't think you're pretty. But we find out at the end that the hummingbird she's been searching for the whole time is her. Like the love she was searching for, she needs to love herself even fucking more. That's the storyline. The whole thing, the lesson we learn at the end is that Jennifer Lopez, super narcissist, needs to love herself even fucking more than she already does, and then things will be all right. As long as she's loving her, then the world will be okay, and then we won't have to worry about all the fucking horoscope sign people, Pisces and all that. They can rest because J-Lo loves herself even fucking more than she did before. It's the greatest love of all. I don't know. It's horseshit. But I also watched a documentary on Amazon, The Kid Laroi. I don't know if anyone knows about him, young like rapper, pop guy, whatever. You want a good documentary, even if you don't know anything about that kid? There's a humble kid who got thrown into superstardom and lost a lot of friends, had some deaths happen to him when he was like 15, 16 years old, from people that were mentors and close to him. And just his growth, and it shows him going from like being in Australia to this small little thing, but how he's having this dream, to by 20 years old doing arenas and shit. Very well done documentary. I know a lot of these young people putting out documentaries. It's kind of crazy because you're like, why are you putting out a documentary? You haven't really accomplished anything yet in a full scheme of things. You know what I mean? It took the Rolling Stones decades to make documentaries, the Eagles decades. So you're like, why wouldn't you wait till the end? Well, if you're like watching that kind of thing happen, where like, how does this happen in this day and age of like growing into a superstar, in the ways they have to deal with it and the pressures and constantly being watched by cameras? It was pretty well done, and he used a lot of like cool little cartoon things. So if we were a little bit high, you're like, whoa, it's a little bit trippy. But the Kid Laroi on Amazon, I've heard the new documentary. I think the kid's growing up or something like that. Very well done. Kid Laroi documentary, way better than anything the J-Lo put out. It's crazy, but I ended up watching both of them anyway, which is fucking insane. I also watched Roadhouse, the original one, on edibles, and that's a good time. I watched a couple weeks ago. I watched the new Roadhouse. The new Roadhouse is fucking the silliest, goofy. Like, that's terrible, but it's terrible in the best ways possible. It's like, it's just an insane action movie on steroids, whatever. But the original Roadhouse, it was fun to watch like that. Every time Dalton would talk to somebody and they would say, "What are you doing?" I would just, while I was silent, I was watching it with a couple people, and I'd be like, "I'm just heading on over to Point Break. You ever been there?" And I could stop. They're like, "What are you gonna go do now?" I was like, "You ever watched the movie Ghost?" I just had Patrick Swayze weirdly pumping his own other movies in the world of Roadhouse. The homoerotic scene in Roadhouse is still the gayest thing I've ever seen. The one where, for no reason, Swayze's doing Tai Chi with his shirt off and like weird sweatpants outside of the barn. And then the old guy who owns the barn stops and just fucking watches and it's incredibly long. And then the bad guy who also was the guy who helped create Jurassic Park, whatever. He's watching from across the way on his little ATV of his mansion, and he looks. He goes, "Oh, there's some handsome stuff going on." Yeah, Terry, it wasn't it. It was very fun. That's the way I'll put it too. If you, I don't know who would go into it expecting a great movie. Conor McGregor is the worst like co-star of a movie I've ever seen. But man, did he make that movie by being over the top, walking, like, being naked for no reason. I don't know why they have like superpowers in it because their punches and kicks make people fly across a room. I don't know why they have powers, but and it was shot weird and different. I like the experiments they did with it. I don't know why they left it open for a sequel. I don't think we need more. But if it does come out more, I will watch it again. And I thought Jake Gyllenhaal did a great job as best he could do with that movie. I liked all the little, like Easter eggs and odes to the old one, the little jokes they threw in here and there. It was fine to me. It was fine. I don't think anyone's gonna watch that and go, "It's ruined the integrity of the original." Like the original had no integrity either. And people that say that, people that are like, "Oh man, fucking the original was so great." It wasn't great. You remember it being something when you were younger. It just had tits and fights, and it had a blind guy playing. I mean, any movie where a blind guy's playing songs and you could throw bottles at him through a chicken wire. I mean, it's gonna be a good movie, but it's just fun. Yeah, yeah, all that stuff. I love when they kept having the conversation back and forth, Terry, about the Roadhouse and saying, "Why would you call it a Roadhouse?" I know it's a Roadhouse. Why would you call it? I don't know. It's Roadhouse. Like just making fun of like the beginning movie. Like, why would you call it Roadhouse? You just called the fucking movie Roadhouse. You could have called it Double Deuce. You could have called it so many things. You could have, you could have called it Wade and Dalton's Wacky Adventures. Whatever you wanted to call it. You could have called it the. By the way, in the original Roadhouse, they didn't do this in the other ones. I was kind of happy. In the original Roadhouse, when Dalton's first walking around the Double Deuce and he's like saying, "Oh, this guy's stealing, this lady's dealing cocaine, this one's jerk, whatever," and then he walks to the back room, and one of the door guys is just fucking this woman in the like. Obviously, they showed that she's like underage because she had a fake ID. She tried to use a Sears credit card. He's like, "Let her in." So he's banging an underage girl. Like they just flat out said that. Like, he's banging an maybe not underage for sex, but underage for drinking. Still kind of messed up. This guy was definitely old in his 30s and stuff. He's banging her in the back. She's got her top up, so they're just trying to show tits in the old movie. But this dude's completely naked at work. Like he didn't kind of just pull his pants down. He's completely fucking nude, and she's like got some clothes off a little bit, which was a little freaking wild to go like you're at work, like you're trying to go quick, and he's like, "Come on, I'm on my break." It's like, yeah, I guess on your break you can fuck. I guess I don't know. I've never worked in a place where they said you couldn't, but I've never worked in a place that said you could either. And you kind of, I think it was implied, maybe not said flat out loud, but implied that you can't fuck people that work. But yeah, if you were gonna sit down any day this week and be like, I've got two choices I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna watch Jennifer Lopez's new fucking movie, or I'm gonna watch the new Roadhouse. Watch the new Roadhouse. It's funny as much as it's the craziest, weirdest, most unbelievable story ever. The new Roadhouse with the crazy deaths and the crocodile shit and all that stuff. It's still more believable than Jennifer Lopez's real kind of life thing that she had going on there. It's fucking tough to watch. What do I want to go with first? Oh, sweet. You guys familiar with Novak Djokovic? He's a tennis player. I'm not a huge tennis guy, but sometimes when you watch it, you hear his name forever. He was in Monte Carlo playing, and he told a fan to shut the fuck up when he had a crazy meltdown. So that's a good time. World number one, Djokovic, was not a happy man on Saturday. The Serbian superstar's 24 struggles continues after he was knocked out of a Monte Carlo Masters by Casper Ruud in the semifinal. Casper Ruud sounds like a good villain name. I like that. Like, Casper Ruud foiled our plans. I can't believe it. The 10th ranked Norwegian beat the world number one for a first win in 6 attempts. Djokovic struggled in the early stages of the match as he dropped 2 of the opening 3 service games as Ruud claimed the opening set. The 36-year-old bounced back emphatically to wipe his opponent off the court and level the matchup at 1 set apiece. So it sounds like it's a good battle back and forth. Things took an ugly turn, however, in the deciding second set. When Djokovic's frustrations with a fan in the stands boiled over after missing a regulation forehand while down 3-4, he turned his attention to an individual sitting behind the baseline and unleashed an expletive spray. Turns around, and he just goes, "Would you shut the fuck up?" And muttered something else in the guy's direction as well. Things didn't get any better for him once again, and he fell short in the fourth event. Despite the slump, he remains confident in being able to bounce back. These are positive to take away, but I'm used to a really high standard in terms of expectation of results. That's why I was upset. Not having a title compared to the last 15 years, not a great season at all. Djokovic has played in only 4 events. He arrived in Monte Carlo having skipped Miami. He goes into a bunch of things about his games and all that stuff. But, I mean, like, who's the piece of shit? Djokovic is a champion. He's been winning all his life. He's upset. He's frustrated. He's starting to get older. He's frustrated, and he doesn't feel like he's being beat. He feels like he's beating himself. And same thing, Terry, with Tiger Woods, old and broken. But like, it's okay. Golf is a little different because you can play until like you're 80 years old if you're good enough competitively. I feel bad that Tiger Woods is being talked about. I mean, he's polarizing. He is the biggest star in golf of all times. But the fact that people are reporting on how he had a blunder and fell apart in the end and shot one of his worst rounds ever in a Masters or in any tournament that he was in for 4 days is crazy. Well, he's not considered one of the best in the world anymore. I don't know why we have to still keep bringing that up. Like, I guess they did that with Jordan when he was with the Wizards, and they're like, he's not being like Jordan anymore. But he's not Jordan. Okay, it's at the end of his career. Everyone's allowed that. You know what I memean? Like, to falter and be lesser than. But I guess when you have greatness, you just expect him to always be great. Then you just kind of go, they fucked up. Djokovic is the one. He's not fucking up. He's playing in the finals. Djokovic is only being his worst critic. Now, is he the piece of shit for being this way and being frustrated and upset? This is the guy in the stands who obviously was saying some kind of crazy shit. Like, listen, I think all of us have been in the sporting events. Sometimes you're like, there's a famous person with $1 million. Can I say wild shit and get in their head and just fucking frustrate them? That'd be fun. I did that when I was younger. Me and my buddy Brian Birdsell, when we were in college, we went to a Mets game during the day, and it was like an early evening game, whatever. And we got pretty hammered, and it was back in like 90. I'd say it's like 96, 97-ish, whatever it was. Got that move. We had way back seats, and we moved forward because there was nobody there. And they were playing the Dodgers, and the first base coach is a guy named Mickey Hatcher, who used to play for the Twins and the Dodgers in the day and everything like that. Mickey Hatcher was just being the first base coach. And we realized that Mickey Hatcher probably could hear us as we were sitting like 5 rows back at this point. We moved up. So we were just yelling things out like, Mickey Hatcher is a child molester. And then people would be like, what? And then we're like, Mickey Hatcher traffics kids. And Mickey Hatcher is one time kidnapped babies and killed the babies, and we're just yelling the worst things possible. At one point, I yelled something like, Mickey Hatcher wears women's underwear, and it says, look at my little Dickie Mickey, or something dumb, like where I was half drunk. And all of a sudden, like, Mickey Hatcher turns around and goes, the cat goes, what the fuck is going on? And that made us start laughing. And he kind of smiled, like, cut this shit. We're like, we didn't know you could hear me. He's like, I've heard you for 3 innings. Why are you yelling at me? And it's so when he laughed at it, he joked, like, sorry, Mickey Hatcher. And then even the security guy's like, oh, throw him out. He's like, no, just please do that to other people. Not do it. So we yelled it at other people. Then it was fine because that's New York. And it's a good time. This guy was just having a good time. He's yelling, yeah, Djokovic, more like you're a joke, bitch, whatever he said. And then Djokovic turned around and told him to shut the fuck up. Nothing wrong with that. I know last night on a comedy show, this guy was trying to be fun, older guy, and he kept kind of heckling, but not really, just yelled things out. And I would tell him to shut the fuck up. I said something, he goes, oh, that's destiny. I don't know, destiny would be, I said, a meteor coming into here and smashing you in the head and killing you because you won't shut the fuck up. And everybody cheered. And he's like, yeah, the guy wants me dead. It happens. You go with the flow. You do things. I mean, I'm no tennis champion like Djokovic, but you can handle somebody grumbling and mumbling. You're on a big stage. People are gonna fucking shit on you. It's kind of what happens there. It's in tennis for still happening. Does anyone care about tennis anymore? Tennis is dumb. And when they invented pickleball, I thought that was over. I thought now we have tiny tennis. No one cared about regular tennis, but apparently in Monte Carlo, and I don't even know where Monte Carlo is. Monte Cristo is that sandwich you get where it has French toast for bread. And it's fried and stuff, and then people are like, oh, I feel a little weird out there. Yeah, you're eating French toast for bread, fucking fat piece of shit. Calm down. Who's the piece of shit in the story? Derry, I don't, I want to say it would be Djokovic or like Tiger Woods, but Tiger Woods if he got upset about things. I don't get mad at the athlete. You know what I mean? The athlete's just trying the best they can to continue to do what they do. It's got to be hard for them because they're not old people. Djokovic is Tiger's not an old man. He's just old for being the greatest athlete at his sport of all times, I mean, fucking Tiger, it's even worse because now golfers, because of Tiger, are in shape and give a shit a little bit. But before him, it was just crazy that somebody was an athlete because they were all just fat racists that were just like swing a ball, drink, smoke cigars. And then now it's like you got to care about your shape and playing. Nobody questioned when Palmer, Nicholas, or any of them didn't win one. They didn't go, what the fuck is wrong with you? You're not winning. When they're older, like, still play. Greg, the Shark, Norman, whatever. When those guys played in the older stuff and it didn't do well, they just go, isn't it cool that they're here? Tiger doesn't win. They're like, what the fuck, man? Why aren't you winning? His son, like, how come he's at 15, not dominating like his dad kind of did? It's like, what are we doing? Why are we expecting so much out of people named after an animal? Your name's Tiger. That's silly. Silly names don't do things well for a long period of time. We know that, Mr. T. It didn't last forever. Pee Wee Herman didn't last forever. When you have a silly name, it doesn't make it forever, Cuba Gooding Jr., silly name, didn't make it forever. Can't blame that. You blame tennis fans in general, not the guy who got yelled shut the fuck up at. That, to me, makes tennis more fun. People heckling while they're trying to hit. I know you say that's be insane and hard to play, but whatever. That'd be more fun for me to watch. Like everybody says, like if golf was more like Happy Gilmore, people would watch more. Maybe so. Maybe we're animals. But I know this is Monte Carlo and not America. But in America, yelling at people and making them feel bad about their accomplishments is what we do. It's the American dream. It's how we do it. So the fact that everyone else in the audience is just being quiet, going, they just go, oh, like that shit. That's not fun. So this other guy shouldn't even stood out. He shouldn't have been yelling, shut the fuck up to that guy. He should have been yelling, shut the fuck up to everybody. Like, I'm Djokovic, bitch. Shut the fuck up. And they're like, fuck you. And they're throwing, and then he fucking just hits the ball and it fires him up and then he wins or something. If more people were yelling at this guy and putting him down, maybe he would have won. You don't know. He's a piece of shit. Fuck. Tennis is the piece of shit. What else we got? Married substitute teacher caught undressed in car with student, deputies say. A married substitute teacher was arrested after allegedly being caught undressed with a student, according to Nebraska authorities. The authorities in Nebraska are there. The Douglas County Sheriff deputies responded to a call regarding a suspicious vehicle parked on a dead-end road in the neighborhood. When deputies arrived, they found 45-year-old Aaron Ward and a 17-year-old boy in the back seat. Authorities said the teen jumped into the driver's seat and attempted to flee from deputies before crashing. After crashing the car, deputies saw the teen running from the driver's seat without any clothes on. However, he was found more than an hour later in a nearby neighborhood wearing only underwear and a t-shirt. Back at the scene, Ward was putting on her clothes. She allegedly told authorities that she was a substitute teacher at Burke High School and other schools. Ward allegedly admitted to having sexual relations with the teen, according to authorities. Deputies determined that the vehicle belonged to Ward and her spouse. Ward was arrested and charged with 1 count of felony sexual abuse by a school employee. Who is the piece of shit in this story? Is it the 45-year-old substitute teacher, Aaron Ward? I didn't see any pictures of it. They didn't show it. So you know what that means? Not attractive. They usually show the pictures of teachers when they're attractive. An ugly substitute. And feeling lonely, is married, not having a good time. Yeah, it is gross, V. It's gross for the 17-year-old, but it's not gross for the 45-year-old. It's illegal, as far as I know. I don't know Nebraska. I'm guessing Nebraska's like 16. Nebraska seems like a place where they're like, we fuck them young so we can keep them farming or whatever the fuck rules they keep. But I would assume that this woman's not attractive. I'm not saying the kid's attractive, but the kid's a horny 17-year-old teenager who can fuck a teacher, which is like crazy. Like for a young teenager, you're a young teenager and you're like, a teacher, an adult wants you to have sex with them. I don't think it matters who they are. You're just like, yeah, I'll fuck this teacher. That's hilarious. It's a good story. It's also like, when young girls aren't giving you attention because you got to keep them farming. You got to, no one's going to shuck the corn themselves. You got to build new shuckers by getting people pregnant and doing all that. So I get the kid. What, especially if this kid's a guy who's not getting laid or dating anybody in high school, and he's like, young girls my age don't realize I'm a catch, and then this girl's like, I think you're the best. This woman tells him that. And he's like, women, you're just so mature. That's what it is. And she just wants some young dick. Her husband probably stinks, and he's at home. And she's taking her husband's car. She's not even taking her car to fuck this boy. It's gonna have like young boy balls smell in the back, which is hard to get out of a car. Apparently, allegedly. It's this woman is just garbage for taking advantage of this boy. Is it the boy? For like, I'm gonna fuck a substitute teacher in a car. Fuck her at school, in the back somewhere, like an auditorium or something. You're going on, spend your weekends getting in the car. It's the boy's parents for like, yeah, go hang out with your substitute teacher. Nothing weird about that shit. He might have lied, but regardless, how the fuck is a 17-year-old kid hanging out with a substitute teacher in a fucking cul-de-sac somewhere? Is it the kid for running away? Obviously, the teacher, obviously. But if we go with the obvious, then what's the point of the show? We just go, oh, look, was an OJ for killing his wife. You're like, yes, and then move on. No, it might not be. The two of them having sex, I guess I kind of get it. Is it the police for chasing the kid? Why are we chasing the kid? Why are we finding the kid later? I guess you want to be able to like get information, but you caught them having sex. The kid didn't do anything wrong. He's a kid. Let him run off. Let him go home. He's not sad. He just kind of got laid in the back of a car. If you were a teenage boy, that's one of your best moments that you still have that core memory now. At 49, my age, you have that core memory of the first time you had sex, like in a car in high school. But I didn't have it with an old-ass woman. I had it with a person my age or a little bit younger. Not legally. We're both children. Anyway, that kind of thing happening. Is a society, Nebraska society, for not understanding the love between the substitute teacher. The substitute teacher's intelligence is the same as a 17-year-old boy from Nebraska's intelligence. You know what I mean? One's filling in. Yeah, they chased the kid. They chased the kid. When she was already just getting dressed, he took off nude, holding his clothes, and then they found him an hour later in a t-shirt and underwear walking the streets because he didn't have anywhere to go because that was his ride. You know, and he was just running around. Let him have love. Let love happen. If I've learned anything from the great Jennifer Lopez, is that you don't know where your hummingbird's going to be. Maybe your hummingbird is a 17-year-old boy and you're a 45-year-old piece of shit. Maybe Aaron Ward out of Nebraska. Yes, Aaron Ward is the piece of shit in this story. But sometimes, I guess you got to bang. Maybe is it the husband of hers, like, for not doing a good enough job? Maybe not doing a good enough job in keeping Miss Aaron Ward happy. Because here's the thing, too. If this guy goes like, well, if you could go bang a 17-year-old, can I? The guy would be in jail forever. This lady will probably get, like, not allowed to substitute in Nebraska anymore and then get an OnlyFans. Like, maybe she'll get arrested for, like, mischief. I don't know. They didn't catch him fucking. And the kid's like, I'm on board. Who fucking knows? I mean, will she get statutory rape and will she go to jail for a long time? I don't think so. That doesn't seem to be the case. If she was hot, there would at least be a court TV thing because then they want to show her, but they don't want to show some uggo. Just be like, whatever. You know, it's weird. I didn't know when people named Aaron Ward lived in Nebraska. This feels like a very Irish, you're living in the coast type name. Not really a cornbread fed. Is that what they call them? Is that Nebraska? Yeah, they love corn there. But I mean, the husband, I think that too. Maybe he could be a piece of shit, but it's not his fault. He probably hates her. Like, you know, he's probably not mad. And then, like, that's got to feel good, though. You don't want to, it will never feel good to have your spouse cheat on you. You feel like it makes you feel bad. You have low self-esteem. But if she got caught fucking a kid, I don't know. You gotta be like, like she's probably been nitpicking him. Like, you don't clean up. You don't fucking talk to me anymore like you used to. We used to go on dates. We don't go on dates anymore. And he comes, the police story comes out, and he's like, oh, should I clean up the room more? I don't know. Maybe you should not. I don't know. Fuck a child. Maybe fucking a child is a thing maybe someone shouldn't do. She's like, where are you going to go now? Like, I don't know, Chuck E. Cheese, to bang like you do? Maybe. So this guy's got some good shit now going for him. Because now he at least can be like, I know you are, but what am I? Boom, things, but throw it back. You can't beat this. No matter what, she fucked kids. He didn't fuck kids. He wins. And in a divorce now, I don't know how that works because she's a substitute teacher, and I'm guessing so she's a substitute teacher. He's got a job where he makes more money. I'm assuming because just for the two of them that even own a car on substitute teacher money, I'm guessing he's not unemployed. But in the divorce, when they're trying to do alimony, they might be like, I don't know, you fuck the kid. Maybe we shouldn't give you any extra money. Maybe you should be taking the bus. You can't fuck kids on the bus. In Japan, you can in porn movies because they blur it out. But in America, especially in Nebraska, it's hard to fuck kids on a bus. I hear. So I don't know who would do that. It would be crazy for this guy to find this out, but then it had to be like funny, whatever, to do that. But then I guess when people read the story, obviously they're going to search to see what this lady looks like. So a lot of people are searching to see what his wife looks like. And then what if she is kind of okay looking? And then they're like, if I was 17-year-old, I'd fuck your wife too. Just saying, dude. And you're like, God damn it. Don't talk about fucking my wife. It's already weird enough. I'm the only one not fucking my wife. Or maybe this guy gets off on it. Maybe he's a crazy cuck and maybe he was in another car watching. We don't know. Maybe he like, fuck kids. I don't know. But normally, in most situations, the piece of shit is always the person having sex with a minor. That's usually not a coal miner. They should be allowed to have sex all they want. They have tough lives. But a regular minor, child minor, not Harold Miner, the basketball player who everyone thought was Baby Jordan, but then was just some guy. Yeah, it's got to be hard that way. She is, I would guess she is Nebraska looking, but I don't think she's a Nebraska. No, I guess Terry, Nebraska looking can be a couple different things because I think if you thought about like Farmer's Daughter, like the back of the day thing, with like the Daisy Duke type things and little like picnic table looking top that's tied in a knot and a good body, that could be good Nebraska looking. But I'm guessing she's more like Sioux. I know that's more Oklahoma, Sioux pig, but like, Nebraska looking to me is like a overweight white girl with frizzy hair, and it looks like she's already ready for a PT. She looks like she's 38 and 17 at the same time. That's Nebraska looking to me, just kind of beefy, but like the skin's good because they drink a lot of milk and eat a lot of corn, so they're not really putting a lot of chemicals in their body. They're just eating off the land, and they're like Pocahontas because they're living off the fat of the land, but the fat of the land is them. That's my Indian jokes for the day. Some old people might look good. That is true. I'm guessing this is not one of them. When you're banging kids, you're not always the best looking. You never really see you're not like, oh, George Clooney, stop banging kids. I guess Leonardo DiCaprio, he doesn't bang kids, but he bangs them way younger, but they're legal at least. And I don't think the cops would care. They'd be like, just get DiCaprio's autograph. Like, man, sign my autograph. That lady, let the naked lady run. I don't know. I think it's the cops for chasing the kid. Let the kid have a story. The kid's going to have a great last couple of months of school that he banged a sub. And then they'll be like, who's substituting today? It's like, is it your dick? Like, I can't imagine. I know this day and age, kids are weirder with how they bully. And it's just like, you don't know how to TikTok dance. Or whatever. But I don't think anyone's getting bullied for banging a teacher. I think you're kind of looked, if anything, I think he might start being able to date girls his age now. Because they might be like, wow, a woman found you attractive. A woman wanted to, you must be more mature than I thought. Maybe they'll think that. Probably not. They'll probably just think he's damaged goods. And now he's just going to be the guy who fucked an old lady and work at a gas station. Like, weren't you the guy who fucked Miss Myers back in fucking 2024? Like, woo! And they high five me like, oh, dude, that was a long time ago. What happened to her? And like, well, she's in the back. She works in the gas station now because her husband left her. We're married. Like, oh, no, you married her? Because that might happen too. Now that she left, maybe he's like, it's love. What if he gets 18 and he marries this lady? And then they make a movie about it. And Jennifer Lopez is in it. It could be the fucking worst thing of all fucking times. Yeah. I don't know. Don't fuck kids. If here at POS, we want you to know, don't fuck kids. By the way, like, subscribe, all that stuff. You hit the like button, that helps out a lot. Subscribing helps us a ton too, as well. Get over into Patreon. Tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, we'll be doing the POS evening. That'll be over on the Patreon, recording over there, being live. So join the Patreon, be over there so you can join in with us. Starting next week, we'll be doing one or two more POS mornings. Maybe not doing both Tuesday and Thursday next week, but at least one of those mornings we're going to do one that will just be on the Patreon as well. So get on over to POS Podcast. Go patreon.com/POS Podcast or just search it on Patreon. And if you join us for those $3 a month, you can do more if you want. It helps us stream, do better things. It helps me get a better computer so I'm not freezing half the fucking time, whatever it is. And, you know, supports the show. We love you guys. We love you being on here. We want to keep doing a lot of free stuff. We're going to do that too. But we want to make sure everyone that joined the Patreon is also getting a little bang for their buck as well. Not that we have a ton. We're growing a small little army, and we want to build them up even more. This week, I will be back. I was at Comics Roadhouse last night. Thanks to everybody there that came out. We had a nice crowd on a Sunday. I headlined that. It's a bunch. I worked on all the stuff that's going to be on the album recording I'll do there in August. Some of the stuff's flying along. Some of the stuff still got work to do, but really enjoying what this album's going to be becoming. So thanks to everyone that came out. I'm back there on Thursday hosting the show with Frank Margallo, the guy who used to be on the show with me and Bobby back in the day, at a 10 o'clock show there. Friday night, I am at, where am I? Oh, at Riverwalk Social in Derby, Connecticut, near where I live, having a showcase there. Come on out and see that show. And then Saturday, for those who are fans of Who Are These Podcasts, WATP with Carl, I will be on there as a guest again. It's been a little while since I've been on. I'll be on Saturday. I think they do that around 2 o'clock if you're someone who follows them in the Discord and stuff of that nature. So jump on and check that out. I don't know what we're going to be talking about yet, but I'm sure it'll be some Stuttering John shit. Which, by the way, this tomorrow night when we do the POS episode, it'll be about Stuttering John and us putting him in the Retarded Hall of Fame. We are still working on that. That'll still be happening. We'll probably have a guest with us as well on that show. What is next? We all know OJ died the other day. But what's weird is the day he died, April 11th, it's like you're 9/11, now you're 4/11, is when OJ died. Thousands of Ford Broncos were recalled the same day he died, which is crazy because if you know anything about OJ, that's the one thing. And by the way, kudos to the New York Post. I usually give them shit for their beginning sentences, the first line of their articles. But when they said, the Bronco got recalled on the day OJ died, the first sentence is, they both ran out of gas. Which is like, kind of like fucking terrible, whatever. Thousands of Ford Broncos, which remain famous by OJ driving him in 94 in the police chase, were recalled the same day that the football legend died. It's a disgraced football legend, but whatever. He's still a football legend. He's not disgraced for being a football legend. He's just disgraced for being a murderer of his wife. I think that's what he's disgraced for. Then he goes on to tell us how it got recalled. In a strange coincidence, they got recalled for whatever reason. Simpson died Wednesday, and that's basically the story. Who's the piece of shit in this story? Is it OJ for dying on the day they recalled that? You can't help it. Is it the Ford Bronco for recalling? I know you're recalling it. You're going to recall them all and you want to be safe, but it's been out there being unsafe. You can't wait till the 12th. You know what I mean? You can't wait one more day to fucking recall it and not have this weird thing tied into it. People already took it took a while for people to start driving Ford Broncos again after OJ got away in one, and they started buying them again. Now you got them out there. People have forgotten all about that. People that do have it are like, oh, cool, I can get away like OJ did. Then you're gonna have a recall, and yeah, you want to be safe. But if you wait one more day, you already had a recall. They die that day in it. It's not your fault. You recall it the next day. You wait till a day after OJ thing. I think Ford Bronco is the piece of shit, not OJ. OJ was already dead. He couldn't help this one. Yes, he's tied into that car forever, and that kind of stinks. He has that kind of like some of the. I'm about to say, like, I think it's Dahmer. Who was the one, or Ted Bundy? Who had the little, like, yellow bug and they would kill people? The weird little car. But you tie a car into a murderer sometimes. It's Ford Bronco. They're the pieces of shit in that one there. It was the head gasket. Yeah, that's what, was that the recall for, was that what he cut off of, Nicole Brown Simpson, her head gasket? Hey-oh, murder. Yeah, OJ got away with murder, V, you are correct. But what's the old saying? The guy was so happy, it's like he got away with murder. And he did get away with murder. And he was happy until the end. He was on Twitter world, except for the part where cancer killed him. But yet, if it's not supposed to feel good to get away with murder, then why do we have the saying? Obviously, the person who said that got away with murder. You wouldn't be like you don't say it's like getting away with murder. You just go, this guy's getting away with murder. It just means he's killing it, like literally. And OJ did that. So kudos to him. OJ was able to do anything. When you play football as a young kid, you dream that one day you're going to win a Heisman Trophy and play in the NFL and all this. OJ did that. When you're a young person and you want to be an actor, you're like, I wish I could be in one of the most famous comedies of all time. And OJ did that. He's a naked gun. And I wish I could be a spokesperson. I'm so famous that people want me to give me money to help sell their product. He did that with Hertz. And he's like, I wish someday my wife would stop living. And then he did that because he believed in himself. OJ was the ultimate at manifesting. He put himself out there. He says, this is going to happen. And it happened. And he goes, and I also don't want to get caught for it. And I want my trial to happen right after black people are being treated the worst. So that way, race plays a factor. And I only get made not guilty because people feel bad for black people at this moment. And not because I did anything wrong. Just right guy, right time. You know, that's all that was. So the piece of shit obviously is the jury of that case because OJ got away with it. And then also for Bronco for not recalling the next day. You should definitely recall the next fucking day. We'll do one more fucking. Do I want murder death? That looks a little mean. I don't know I don't want tennis anymore. There's a lot of murder in that one there. That's the stupid OJ one. Substitute. Oh yeah, so we'll do one more and we'll get the fuck out of here. Thank you guys for all being on. Milwaukee sicko. I like when they do that too. They write sicko. Instead of like creep or whatever. Sicko's fun. I haven't said sicko in a while. You know what I mean? It's a fun word to say. Milwaukee sicko, 33, allegedly dismembered teen college student 19 after a seafood date night. Quote, sick son of a bitch. A Milwaukee man allegedly murdered a college student after a date and then dismembered her body with a saw and spread the remains across the city, according to court documents. Holy shit. Maxwell Anderson, 33, was charged with murder on Friday for allegedly killing a 19-year-old Sade Carlina Robinson, who vanished after excitedly heading out for a date, allegedly with him on April 1st, according to CNN. Robinson was studying criminal justice at Milwaukee Area Technical College, so obviously she wasn't going to amount to anything. She reportedly chatted with an employee in her apartment building about how excited she was to be going on a date that night, according to a criminal complaint against Anderson. I'm feeling seafood, she texted the suspect before the pair met up to eat. But when Robinson failed to show up at the pizza joint where she worked the next day, friends and coworkers began to raise alarms. Police made a welfare check at her home, but failed to find Robinson. On April 3rd, Robinson's car, a 2020 Honda Civic. We've talked about this before. Honda Civic is the ultimate car for a single mother who likes to leave all their McDonald's wrappers in the back on the seat where the kids should be, but the kids with the father, obviously, because if you're a single mother with a Honda Civic, you lose rights to your child. She had a 20 Honda Civic with no kid, was discovered severely torched on a North Milwaukee Street corner, so he burned the car. The remains of clothing that matched the outfit she'd worn on the date were also found scorched inside. Later that day, a human leg, which had been sawn off, was found miles away on Lake Michigan Beach Park. So he took a leg and brought it miles away. Maybe in some traditions, that's good luck to take a leg, drop it at the beach. With DNA matching to Robinson, according to the complaint. Days later, a foot and pieces of human flesh were discovered in several locations near where Robinson's car was found. Anderson was arrested on April 4th after surveillance footage and witness accounts linked him to the date night with Robinson in an apparent effort to hide her remains. He looks like grubby, not in shape Thor, is kind of what he looks like. He doesn't really look, he does. If you were going to say a guy who might cut off body parts, this guy, Maxwell Anderson, does look like a man that definitely would know his way around a hacksaw and a bone and a leg. He'd be like, oh, you can't cut the femur. The femur shatters too much. Like he has that look. And she was a black lady, so I'm sure it's going to be a race thing too. But, he just, I mean, if anything, he was open-minded on the date. He didn't mind date. He looked outside, constructs of people being racist, saying whites should date whites, blacks should date blacks. And he was open-minded to that. Because, so if anything, he's open-minded, or unless you're going to think, oh, he killed her because she's black. He killed her probably because the conversation sucked. But that happens sometimes too. Workers at the Twisted Fisherman restaurant, the Twisted Fisherman. Is that supposed to be like Twisted Sister? Twisted Fisherman? Oh, dude. I don't know. I mean, this date, she shouldn't have gone. Confirmed the pair dined there on April Fool's Day? She got asked to go to the Twisted Fisherman and then he cut her leg off. I mean, maybe it's a prank. Maybe he's like, I was just kidding. I'll put her back together now. Robinson's phone indicated she went to Anderson's home around after 9 p.m. So they did the dinner. She got dinner, then brought him home. Maybe you don't go home with a guy you meet in the first date. After midnight, her phone began to ping at several locations across Milwaukee before finally dying around 4:30 a.m. near the beach park where her severed leg was discovered. Footage from the park showed a car matching Robinson and a person walking back and forth from the car to the beach. Hours later, the torch Honda was found miles north, and Anderson was seen riding a bus away from the area towards his home. Oh, he didn't have a second car set up. He had to take a bus. That is a terrible date. Seafood with a 19-year-old. You're 33, dude. Terry, I mean, like, that's a what could they talk about? I mean, I've been there. We've all been in conversations like, man, I wish I could just saw someone's leg off. But then, like, at least that guy was, once again, it's fulfilling your dreams. Like OJ, he manifested something, and he manifested her leg in a park. The defendant intentionally killed and then dismembered Robinson with the intent to conceal the homicide. It occurred between the arrival of the defendant's residence and his departure from the Warnemont Park, the complaint said. As a search for the rest of Robinson's remains is ongoing, her family is distraught over the savagery of her death. I would think distraught would be the word. She said she was looking forward to seafood, but I'm assuming it was his suggestion because she's like, oh, we're going to do seafood. So she didn't say like, oh, I chose seafood. So he was probably like, how do you feel about seafood? You know, and she's like, I like crawfish and so I like shrimps, plural. Took her a lot of places one night. Lucky gal. He did. Oh, you want to go to the beach and go out to eat? She's like, are we eating on the water? It's like, well, no. She's like, how are we going to do both? He's like, you wait and see. I got a little surprise for you. Robinson's mother, Sheena Scarborough, called Anderson a sick son of a bitch after he was charged. Who the fuck would do something like this to my beautiful baby? She hurt nobody. She harmed nobody, she said, according to the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel. The mother described her daughter as such a beautiful angel, but no longer with wings. Everywhere she went, people just admired my baby. Her whole life was so ahead of her. That's how life works. It's always ahead of you, though it's not. An attorney for Anderson told CNN he is presumed innocent and plans to vigorously fight the charges. What? Come on, dude. You can't presume. No. Okay. Yeah. You're an awful person, but you can't be like, wasn't me. They have like footage of you. Like footage. Foot. You can't. You can't. Once you're caught, you be caught. These the criminals with the, I didn't do it. You did. You saw the lady. You think we have phones. You got caught. Just fucking own it. You know what I mean? Self-defense. What they defending? Seafood's not. Why is everybody banging on seafood in the freaking chat? It's like, I like seafood. I don't know if it's a good first date because smelling fishy's weird. I don't know if it's for crazy people. It's a popular dish. Twisted Fisherman's an awful name for a place. But the suspect had at least 3 convictions for domestic incidents dating back to 2014, including an incident where he beat a man who intervened while Anderson was arguing with a woman on a public street. This guy sounds like a real awesome dude. So he's just arguing with some dude. He's like, yeah, you stink. Like, you stink. And the lady goes, or no, I guess he was arguing with the lady. He's like, lady, you stink. You don't like seafood? Let's get seafood. She's like, I don't like seafood. I don't like you. And the guy goes, hey, be nice. And he's like, like, that's a good time. That guy's fun. That's what he does. That's a good act out by me. Being a man intervened. He now faces charges of first-degree homicide, mutilating a corpse, and arson. Oh, yeah, arson, too. So that'll get, no matter what he gets, he'll get life, but then they'll get extra year. When they always do that, tell you, life plus 20 for burning things. It's like, I don't think I'm going to live past life. You know, you don't really need to give me 20 more years. I'm not going to make it past life. And then, so the piece of shit in this story, I would assume, is the man who cut off someone's leg and left the parts of it in the beach and then burned their car and then killed a lady. Or maybe it's her for taking the date. I don't think it mattered where they went. You know, I know maybe like the Twisted Fisherman isn't the best place to go. It's got to be a weird ad for the Twisted Fisherman, too. Because now when you say the name of the restaurant, Twisted Fisherman, and people in that area are like, oh, where do you want to go? Twisted Fisherman? And they're like, isn't that the place where the guy killed a lady? Like, what? And then Twisted Fisherman's like, listen, all our people here eating, our patrons, we'd like to announce to you once again for the 100th time, yes, that couple did dine here, but he did not murder her here at the Twisted Fisherman. There still have not been any murders here. If anything, our food's so good that he made sure her last meal was a great one. At the Twisted Fisherman, she had the fish and sample platter or whatever, and it's a great meal. He didn't kill her here. She had a great meal, and then they went back to the room, and he felt so good. He felt like a god. You can take away life. So anything, come have our new god platter, where it makes you feel like you can cut someone's leg off. So Twisted Fisherman's probably going to get some bad advertising out of this, but hopefully they spin it around, they get a good PR person, and they make it work out for them. Before we go, and I appreciate all you guys being on, what's the one more thing? Oh, so I gotta find this thing. I was on Facebook the other day, and like most people do, go on there. And I don't know if you guys are involved in like local town groups, like the ones that like for your town. Like I live in Ansonia, Connecticut, so I'm in a couple of the Ansonia town groups because I like to watch the fighting and the crazy people. I'm sick. Or for the seafood, yes, you're right, sir. The people make wacky comments. Now, I don't ever troll in those things, whatever. I just read them. People argue about things all the time. So, but the other day I saw this one. It's a guy. He posts. So I'm in the kitchen of my home, just bringing my dogs in from the outside, doing a little training. When all of a sudden, Charlie, my cat, who'd been missing for a month, who I caught sight of a few days ago, comes running into my kitchen. Startled and it said the word shit, but they didn't write shit. They put a bunch of different expletive signs, whatever, hashtag plus all that stuff, just to make it say shit out of me. But instantly my female cat Stormy, his mother, starts to attack him and now got him pinned in the bathroom. The first comment that someone puts, a woman writes, "No swearing allowed. Please change the SH word." So the guy had to go, obviously he wrote shit. She made him change that. In this whole story, just no swearing allowed. So I saw that, and then I wrote, but I any swear I say, I did not write the swear. I put all the little happy symbols. I wrote, fucking congratulations on the return of Charlie. Hopefully Stormy stops being shitty towards him soon. Fuck. 25 likes. And I felt wonderful. Even the guy liked it. The lady didn't like it much. But it's fun. What I'm saying is, for your next assignment, everybody, so we can talk about another time, go into your local groups and find the best complaint story and argument and see if you can just write one little comment, not to be mean or jerk, one that just gets some people happy and on board and it makes other people nuts. And then share them with us the next time you're on the show. I hope you guys all have a wonderful Monday. Join us tomorrow evening. Definitely. Maybe tomorrow morning. More likely it'll be Thursday morning. Join us tomorrow evening, 8 o'clock for the for POS live. As of right now, I think I am going to do it live on YouTube and then go right over to the Patreon. But it may just be live to the Patreon there the whole time and not be on YouTube at all when we do it. I will let you guys know very soon. Have a great week, V. You're great, Terry Nee. Thank you for jumping in. You two were very helpful in this No Bobby show. We definitely will have Bobby back during the week, no matter what. So keep an eye on that. If you get over to the Patreon, you'll have the updates to know when that show's going to be sooner or later. But if not, join us Wednesday morning, 8 a.m. We'll have Bobby. We'll have a lot of fun. We'll hear about Bobby's trip to Arizona and how everything went there, plus all the other crazy stories. Another Charlotte Stingray update and all that fun stuff. Like I said, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. That does help us out a lot. We're getting very close to being able to be monetized. That's more for views, but the more people subscribe, the more views we get. So, and hit the notification button so you know when the shows are coming out. Like the video. Please let people know you watch on your social media. If you could just be like, hey guys, check out POS. Like I put links up, just share a link. Go watch this. It's fun in the morning. It's better than radio and things that don't let you swear and say dumb shit. And you can jump in and we talk with each other and have a good time. So please join in there. Thursday night, I'm at Comics Roadhouse. Friday, I'm at the Riverwalk Social in Derby. And Saturday, I am going to be a guest on Who Are These Podcasts at 2 o'clock in their Discord if you want to go check that out. Thank you guys so much. Happy tax day, everybody. If you didn't do yours yet, get out in that and do it. I'm not saying if I did or didn't. I'm just saying the fact that I know that it's the deadline and I don't seem joyed about my money means that I maybe not have done them yet. So get your taxes done. If Bobby was here, he would sign off by saying something like, 2 in the pink and 1 in the stink, and then 4 in the butt if you are a twink, or something like that. So, happy Monday, everybody, and enjoy the rest of your wonderful day.